Well, it's now been a full week since reservations started being taken at Walt Disney World in Anaheim. And while we're back in limbo again, waiting for an opening date for Disneyland, we can still observe what happened with the reservation process. There are still things we can learn, inferences that we can make, and how the park will be populated based on those observations. We might also be able to make some predictions about how the process for Disneyland will either be the same or different than what we saw at Disney World. So let's take a look at the reservation calendar. This is a really cool tool for those of you who want to follow along with how dates are being filled up as we go along through the reservation process. And this tool tells us or shows us which dates are open, which parks are open. And we'll start with resort guests as they were the first ones to make reservations. And to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised at just how not full it is. It's been a week and there are still spots open for Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom for opening day. That surprised me a little, and I asked this question a while back on Twitter. Is Magic Kingdom just not as popular a park in Disney World? I can't imagine that in my reality here in Disneyland. Nothing is more popular than Disneyland anywhere in the world, and Magic Kingdom being the closest thing to that anywhere else. It just surprises me that Hollywood Studios would fill it first. Not so much Epcot. I get the allure for Epcot, but Hollywood Studios. But then again, as people pointed out, that it's got all the new cool stuff. Okay, so going back to the calendar, after the first week, the park is completely wide open. Open for the last 2 weeks of July, and of course, all of August and going forward. Two possible reasons for this, in my estimation. One, they set aside too many spots for resort guests. I mean, there are, after all, 30-something resorts or hotels at Disney World, so there are a lot of people to account for. Or two, and this actually might be related to one, they got far fewer guests than expected coming in from out of state. So either they planned for more resort guests and didn't get them, or, this is even a little bit more scary, they didn't plan for more guests and got even less. Whichever way you look at it, it's a fascinating development, or maybe completely expected, because I think we've alluded to this in the past that I just don't expect to see a lot of out-of-towners coming into Disney World. And I think I would have been surprised if Disney thought they were going to get a lot of out-of-town guests. Okay, next we'll look at annual pass holders, which is an entirely different story. Most of July is totally gone, and August is selling out quickly as well. Keep in mind, when I say selling out, I mean the reservation spots. They're not actually selling physical tickets. There are no physical tickets available for sale. These are guests who already have an annual pass or a ticket to the park. So unlike resort guests, annual pass holders look like they're getting close to maxing out their reservation slots. So here we can ask sort of the opposite question. Did Disney not set aside enough spots for annual pass holders? Or are they getting more response than they anticipated? I don't know the answer to that question, but again, this does sort of confirm our theory that all Disney parks, be that Florida, Anaheim, or anywhere else, are pretty much going to be for locals only for the short term. Annual pass holders, who are predominantly locals in most cases, are occupying a far greater percentage of their available reservation slots. And again, out-of-state guests are not coming in, locals are. Now let's take a look at the single day or multi-day ticket holders. Their reservation slots have been available for just over 24 hours as we record this, and you can still get a spot for Magic Kingdom on opening day. Note, this is in contrast to annual pass holders where opening day spots at Magic Kingdom were sold out in less than an hour, as I understand it. Otherwise, the parks are wide open as of July 15th. And then finally, Monday morning, Disney opened up the annual pass holder soft opening, the event that's going to take place prior to July 11th. They opened up reservations for those Monday morning, and they were sold out within a couple hours, as I understand it. Now, this soft opening might be one reason why there could have been fewer reservation spots available for annual pass holders for July 11th, and thus why they filled up quicker. Either way, it again does demonstrate the preponderance of activity for booking these reservations is coming from annual pass holders. And with that, I think the general public might be agreeing with something that Adam the Woo told me the other day. He said that if you're not an annual pass holder, a cast member, or a vlogger, don't bother coming to Disneyland or Disney World, during the reservation period. And that's what it looks like right now. It looks like the majority of guests are choosing not to come to Disney World right now, even as the parks reopen. Annual pass holders have already paid, so there's no real net loss to them if they don't have, a level 10 fun day or even a good day, even a 7 or an 8 fun day. Same thing for cast members. They're not paying to get in, so they can afford to have a not perfect day at Disneyland. They can have a level 6 fun day. And then there's vloggers, obviously. This is a small number, but it's worth noting. And vloggers are going to show up because this is an interesting time. It's a fascinating time to be in the park. I personally am very much looking forward to documenting, how the parks look and feel in this very strange, very unique, unprecedented time at theme parks worldwide. Those guests with single day or multi-day tickets probably are going to choose to wait. They can't afford to spend that one ticket that they have without getting, a great day or a good day out of it, a level 8 fun day. Better to wait and see for a few weeks or a few months or however long is necessary to see if things don't improve before cashing in that ticket that they've already purchased. So, considering all of this, what does that mean for Disneyland? Well, first, I don't expect them to assign as many spots proportionally to resort guests as they did in Walt Disney World for obvious reasons. We only have 3 on-property hotels or resorts. Second, I do expect them to give a larger percentage of spots for annual pass holders than they did for Walt Disney World. And again, for obvious reasons. The annual pass holder community makes up a larger percentage of guests at Disneyland. And I do expect those annual pass holders to respond to the reservation system here at Disneyland when things open back up. Respond quickly. And then third, and this goes for both Disneyland and Disney World, if the trends that we're seeing right now do sort of hold up for Disney World and at Disneyland when they reopen, if those trends in terms of how many folks are acquiring a reservation, how few are for that matter, I do expect new ticket sales to resume sometime later this summer, as Disney suggested in their initial announcement. Right now they're paused, and the rumor was that they were going to stop selling tickets until 2021. But the response seems light by all accounts. So I expect them to start selling some of those tickets once they kind of figure out, once they get a better idea or can confirm how many people aren't getting those reservations. That is, of course, when it comes to Disneyland, and who knows, maybe even for Disney World as well, that is, of course, if we do open this summer, that is. The whole idea of reopening Disneyland, according to our governor, was that stats had to sort of be stable, but they haven't. Stats have increased badly. So, we're on pause right now here in California. Things are still going forward at Disney World. They haven't shown any sign of them not doing it, but there is growing momentum to maybe possibly slow that down. But it does feel like it could be a little while still before we see Disneyland open. So, if going to Disneyland is important to you, going to Disneyland without a mask, going to Disneyland as close to normal as possible, if these things are important to you, then may I again, once more, ask you to please wear a mask and to please mind your social distancing guidelines. That is the only way, right or wrong, whether you believe in it or not, that will be the way that will reduce the number of cases. It's the best, fastest way to stabilize the numbers and get us back on track to reopening theme parks and reopening the economy in general. And I should add that there a lot of distinctions are being made between cases and hospitalizations and deaths, and they're not, all the numbers aren't rising, proportionally. That may be true. However, it's the cases that the state is going to monitor, and that's the number that they want to see come down in order for them to feel more comfortable with reopening the economy. They want to see cases come down. So whether or not you agree that they lead up to anything else, That's the number that we've got to try to bring down. Otherwise, guys, stay tuned to Fresh Bake for more news as it comes. Sorry for the little mini rant there at the end. But I only say these things because I care about you, that I love you guys, and I want everybody to be healthy and safe. And I also want everybody to be able to enjoy themselves in the manner that they want to enjoy them. I want everybody to be free to not have to do these things. And we have to, sort of bite the bullet in the short term in order to get there. So that's all I'm saying. It's because of love that I say these things to you. So remember that. Remember to be kind to one another. Be kind to strangers that you meet in the street. Be kind to cast members as you encounter them. For you folks going to Walt Disney World, assuming they still open on July 11th or July 9th for the AP preview, be kind to the cast members. Mind their guidance. Love one another. And we'll see you next time. Fresh Bake.